Iowa has Caitlin Clark, who's become this huge star. She's amazing, and she's getting all this attention, and some nasty press reporters are upset about it.
Did you catch the latest news? Megyn Kelly has stirred things up in the WNBA with some explosive comments about Caitlin Clark. She's calling out how the league is treating Clark like she's the bad guy. It's shocking, right? Kelly's remarks have created quite a buzz, causing a big reaction in the basketball community. Let's break down what she said and why it's making such waves.
Came out to say her own scoring record stands despite Caitlin Clark beating it because I guess they didn't have three-pointers when she was playing, which is just ridiculous.
Kelly didn't hold back at all when she criticized the WNBA's treatment of Clark. She stated outright that what's happening to her is really troubling. It's hard to believe. This isn't just some casual opinion. Kelly's words really matter and are making a strong impact.
It's getting a lot of hate from people like that. Of course, Jamel Hill has weighed in. Like, a lot of people taking shots at her.
You might be asking yourself, when did Megyn Kelly start caring about basketball? That's a fair question. She typically doesn't get involved in sports issues, but the situation with Clark is so outrageous that it pushed her to speak out. Even she couldn't ignore it.
She's been in the WNBA for 2 minutes. There's no reason to hate her other than the amount of attention she's getting and her skin color. I mean, would this be happening to a black Caitlin Clark?
No.
Getting the same amount of attention.
Things are getting serious. Kelly revealed that some players are actually targeting Clark during games, not just through tough play, but with outright abuse. She's saying the league is turning a blind eye to it. How wild is that?
And it's resulted in physical alterations on the court that don't get called as fouls, that the girls then deny were intentional. And Caitlin Clark always takes the high road. She never, points the finger, but it happened again.
But Kelly didn't stop there. She linked Clark's treatment to larger issues in women's sports. With all the attention Clark has been receiving lately, Kelly made a shocking statement, saying,
"Many black women inside the WNBA are resentful that this white woman came in and is getting all this attention."
That's a heavy accusation, and it's got people talking from all angles. Kelly isn't just referring to fouls and rough play. She's suggesting there's a deeper issue of racial tension simmering in the WNBA, with Clark right in the thick of it.
People weren't going, Jake, because they were homophobic, racists. That's why the other girls resent Caitlin getting attention, because she's not black.
You might be asking yourself, is Kelly onto something here? That's the big question. But one thing is clear. Her comments are making everyone examine what's really happening in the league. Kelly believes Clark is bringing the sport into the mainstream, and if that's the case, it seems not everyone is on board with it.
These are the highest ratings in more than 10 years, and it is 100% because of Caitlin Clark.
Those are regular NBA ratings. Like, if you get a couple million people watching an NBA game, you're pretty happy as a network guy. She is the Michael Jordan. Like, I know you're not a major basketball
Him, I know.
but she is the Michael Jordan of female basketball. Every single player in that league, every single coach, manager, janitor, anyone who has anything to do with that league should be bowing at the altar of this woman. She is transforming the sport into something mainstream, which is what the WNBA was set out to do, and I think it started in 1994 or 1995.
This situation isn't just a bit of drama. It's shaking up the WNBA like an earthquake, and we're only seeing the initial tremors. The impact of Kelly's remarks will be felt for a long time. Remember that bruise Clark had? It wasn't from a night out. It came from the court, and that's just the beginning. Get ready for some shocking basketball moments, though they might not even look like basketball at all. You might be thinking, how bad can it really be? Trust me, it's worse than you think. We're not just talking about a little roughhousing. Some plays will make you question whether players remember they're a basketball court, not in a boxing ring.
And yet, since she's joined the league as a rookie, she's been abused. She's been abused over and over again by these other players.
Let's talk about that black eye incident during the game against the Connecticut Sun. A player named Dawn Carrington actually scratched Clark's eye with her nails. Can you believe it? And here's the shocking part. No foul was called. There wasn't even a whistle. It's as if the refs were watching a completely different game.
The end, it seems pretty obvious to me, intentionally scratches Caitlin's eye with her long fingernails. She denies it was intentional, but watch, there it is. Hold on. So she goes for the ball, and then look, she points her hand down after the play, after the ball is past this player from the Sun. And it seems very clear she bends her fingers into Caitlyn's eyes. There it is. She could pull her hand away. She didn't. And Caitlyn had a black eye, and it was not.
But it gets even crazier. After the game, Carrington had the audacity to say she didn't even realize she had hit Clark. Seriously? How do you not know you just scratched someone's eye? Clark wasn't hiding it. She was dealing with a black eye for days afterward.
All that was a lie, in my opinion. Phil Houston, Spy the Lie guy, would say all of that. She had all the telltale signs of lying. If you asked me, did you hit her intentionally? I'd say no. Nope, I didn't. She went right into convincing behavior. I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That's what a bank robber says. A bank robber says, I'm an honest person. Why would I ever rob a bank? I have money. I have a job. A truth teller says, no, I didn't rob the bank. No. All of this convincing behavior and not a no and denial. This is obviously a liar, and I don't know this person.
And that's just the beginning. There have been play after play where Clark is getting tossed around like a pinball. We're talking about players deliberately colliding with her during inbound passes, elbows flying everywhere, and don't even get me started on those accidental trips.
After a series of events where we've watched all season long and into the postseason, Caitlin Clark get abused and taken out. I mean, even during timeouts, people are intentionally walking into her, bumping into her, doing things mid-play and after the play. And if you don't know, Christine Brennan's so woke, I don't know how she ever sleeps. So this isn't exactly somebody coming from the Daily Wire or Fox News. So the fact that they're attacking her just shows you the WNBA continues to drop the ball on this whole issue. They got given the greatest gift of all time.
You might think this is just tough basketball, but the stats tell a different story, and it's not pretty. The number of fouls ignored in Clark's games is staggering. It's as if there's an unspoken rule allowing her to be targeted. Let's take a moment to unpack this. There's physical play, and then there's what Clark is facing. This isn't just about defense. It's about intimidation, trying to throw her off her game. And you know what? It's not working. Clark is still dominating, which probably frustrates some players even more. This isn't just about Clark anymore. It's about the entire culture of the league, player safety, fair competition, and the future of women's basketball. If this is how the WNBA treats its rising stars, what does that say to young players hoping to go pro? We thought this was just about basketball, but there's a whole different game happening behind the scenes, and it's tied to deeper issues, including race. Let's explore why some believe this is at the heart of the controversy surrounding Clark.
That many black women inside the WNBA are resentful that this white woman came in and is getting all this attention. Nobody disputes that she's an amazing basketball player, but still they seem resentful and angry toward her.
You might be asking why race is even part of this discussion. Well, there's a significant issue that many people are avoiding. Some believe there's a racial component to the backlash against Caitlin Clark. I know that sounds serious, but we can't overlook this aspect. It's like a volcano that's been simmering, and now it's beginning to erupt. Did you know that about 70% of WNBA players are black? That's important when you consider how much attention a white player like Clark is getting.
Unfortunately, there still is that stigma against the LGBTQ plus community. 70% of the WNBA is black. A third of the players are in the LGBTQ plus community. I think that people have a problem with basketball playing women that are lesbians. Who cares? They are great athletes.
You might be wondering, isn't this all about talent? Well, it's more complicated than that. Some are arguing that Clark's popularity goes beyond her skills. They're bringing up ideas like pretty privilege and white privilege. Can you believe it? Sonny Hund even suggested that Clark might connect with a broader audience because of her appearance and race.
An unusual moment of honesty explained why they still can't stand her within the WNBA. Here she was not long ago.
If Caitlin Clark is the vehicle that will bring this sport that I have loved so much and so long to little 5-year-old girls playing in Harlem, I say yes, bravo. Yes. I have no problem with that. I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive.
But it gets even more complex. There are claims that some black women in the WNBA feel resentful towards Clark, believing that the attention and praise she's receiving should also go to black players. It's as if Clark's success is highlighting some deep-seated issues within the league.
Caitlin Clark's, quote, race and her sexuality played a role in her popularity, and she is symptomatic of how Black players are erased. Erased.
And here's something to consider. Jamal Hill directly stated that Clark's race and sexuality influence her popularity. He believes her presence in the league highlights how Black players are often overlooked. That's a pretty bold statement, don't you think?
That they're sort of just in their anger at her because she's straight and white and a little prettier than some of the other girls.
That is literally what they're saying.
Here's where it gets even more intense. Some view the hostility towards Clark as a response to her being a white woman in a league dominated by Black women. It seems her success is bringing to the surface a lot of complicated feelings and tensions that have been simmering for a long time.
We're homophobic, racists. That's why the other girls resent Caitlin getting attention, because she's not Black or...
So, what does all this mean for the WNBA? It's prompting everyone to confront some really tough issues. This isn't just about one player anymore. It's about race, gender, and who gets the spotlight in sports. Ignoring this part of the story won't make it disappear. It's time for the league to tackle it head-on, no matter how uncomfortable that may be. Now, you're probably wondering what's next for Caitlin Clark and the league. Well, the drama is far from over. Can you believe the WNBA might actually need to change its policies because of this? Sports analysts are saying the league may have to introduce new rules on player behavior and even rethink its promotion strategies, all due to Clark's impact. But here's the twist. While some might expect Clark to back down amid all this drama, she's doing the opposite. She's made it clear that she'll keep competing at the highest level, no matter what. Talk about determination.
You're just a flat-out hater. Stay far away from them people, please.
So what does this mean for the future of the WNBA? One thing is clear. This controversy isn't going away anytime soon. We're entering a new chapter for women's basketball, and Clark is right at the heart of it. Buckle up, because this ride is just beginning.